My name is Naresh Sonpal, and I'm part of the AI1k team. We're a team of almost a dozen people. Today, I'm sitting out of our Ahmedabad office and conducting this session. Currently, we are a group of 20 odd people here today, and this orientation session is happening because all of you all have cleared the assessment. And remember, the assessment that you attempted has a huge relevance to the AI1k nationwide research-based remote internship. I'll do a quick screen share. So this is a 75-minute orientation session for all of you all who have got selected for the AI and who have actually reached the final round of AI1k. And it's going to be a very, very interesting 3 months time for y'all. We at the AI1k project management team are super excited to be with you during this journey and to one guide you, possibly help you. And that is the reason why we have a few social media communities so that all of us can be there together throughout the journey. There's also going to be an element of peer learning happening. The whole ethos of AI1k is basically enabling employability. So we at SMS Cloud Hub are trying our best efforts to enable employability. It could be self-employability, it could be y'all seeking out for jobs and assignments as you move ahead in your lives and careers. I'll give you a quick brief about the story about AI1k and the topic. This is very essential for all of us. The topic for this year's internship is impact of AI in communication. And when we say communication, we are talking about the various communication channels which businesses use. And as all of us are in India, we are looking at what has been the impact of AI in communication amongst Indian businesses. And as you all are aware of the fact that this is a research based internship, you will, during the course of the next 10 to 12 weeks, visit organizations in and around your geography and collect real time information from them. The collection of information is going to happen in a very, very structured form, which we are going to share once after this orientation session. Your letters are issued to you on email, and then you will fill a feedback form, and then the links will be shared with you. Now, SMS Cloud Hub is a telecom and a technology based company which is headquartered in Ahmedabad in India. We function across 180 plus countries globally. And our fundamental effort through AI1k is to ensure or to democratize the real world application and the impact of AI across India. So through AI1k, students like you would be able to benefit. And primarily, the aim is that you all, as students, as we move forward towards 2047, when India would have completed 50 years of independence, are able to shape our country, India. And of course, all of us agree that AI is creating an impact in almost all walks of our life. The key reason, of course, is to skill the gap, point number one. And many a times you must have heard either in your colleges or in your social gatherings and network that बच्चों को कॉलेज में जो पढ़ाया जाता है and what is required by, let's say, companies, there is a gap. And of course you would go through, or your seniors would have gone through induction programs or probation periods to get at par. Now, interestingly, AI is such a subject where even if you are taught what is happening in the AI world today, hypothetically speaking, by the time you pass out, AI would have moved ahead because there is rampant upgradation happening in that domain. Why not have interns go and talk to companies in their local area, do a little mapping of these organizations, ask them about that particular company's readiness or adoption to AI. Some of them would have already adopted to a certain extent. Today, for example, many companies have chat windows or AI powered customer engagement chat tools available, which is not manned by anybody at the back end, but through machine learning, it is able to respond to our queries. For example, it could be banks, it could be possibly insurance companies. Most of you, I would safely assume, would have shopped on Amazon or Flipkart. If you buy a particular kind of a product, it suggests you similar products. Or next time you get online, those kind of products start showing in your list. Whether you buy them or not is one thing. Now, this is AI understanding that you as an individual, basis the age group, the gender, the location, etc., has bought or shown interest in these products. And therefore, it tries and shares with you similar or same products. Again, you would buy, you would not buy is another thing. However, normally most of us use the word AI and ML together. AI means artificial intelligence, ML means machine learning. Now imagine if all of you all were to visit organizations in your geography, what a huge learning you would have when you would talk to responsible professionals there about the subject. Therefore, this becomes a very inclusive platform, AI1k, where while each one of you would independently be doing your research work, you've gathered information from the companies. Now you would come back and do your research on the internet about it. See the kind of learning that you would go through yourself. And trust me, in the first 2 to 3 to 4 weeks, you would suddenly feel that it has opened up your mind. Acha, aisa bhi hota hai? These kind of things also happen because a lot of things you may have read about or heard about or seen reels about, but here you're getting the actual information from people who are working in the industry. Now, you as interns would also bring a very fresh perspective because each one of us is unique. So the information which you are able to gather and then process, your interpretation, your perspective about it will be very unique. And remember this particular point here because this is going to be useful towards the end of your internship period. And of course, as AI1k team, we are also building a very strong ecosystem. I'm sure most of you are following the WhatsApp channel. Gradually, it is growing organically with interns like you who have applied. And we will also showcase the QR codes and the links today. So if some of you have not yet followed some of our social media handles, you're most welcome to do that. Because a lot of information, while we have communicated with some of you all on WhatsApp one to one, but a lot of information will keep feeding there. Also, remember this point about building a networked ecosystem apart from supporting industry innovation on this particular slide in front of you. So, while I discussed earlier, this is the topic on which we are all going to do our research. You may want to take a screenshot, you may want to click a photograph, because this is something that we have to remember, the real impact of AI in communication domain amongst Indian businesses. Moving forward, the fundamental beneficiaries are going to be you as students. Your beneficiaries would be the colleges and the educational institutes where you're working. Because after you have gone through this internship successfully, you would go back and discuss about it with your juniors. And when we have subsequent avatars of AI1K, they may be more encouraged to join it. And let's not forget your training and placement committee, without whose help today all of us would not have gathered here, right? Yes, Sridhar, you're 100% correct. This is a remote internship, which means whichever city I am from just now, I will be doing this internship from that particular city itself. Because who else knows my city better than me? I've got my institute there, I've got my social connections there, I've got my friends and relatives there. So, some of the organizations that you may want to go and visit could be references provided by them. And by far and large, coming back to the screen, India as our country benefits from this kind of an internship. Now, I'm sure when you first heard about AI1K, y'all would have wondered what is AI1K. So, AI, like we discussed a while back, is artificial intelligence. 1K means 1024 students. If y'all have visited the AI1k.online website, it is www.ai1k.online. A lot of details that we are going to share over the next 35-40 minutes with you are part of the website. You can go and reflect back, and you may have there is a benefits section, benefits for students, benefits for institutes, benefits for colleges. There is a FAQ section, and of course, I missed out mentioning we are also on LinkedIn. So the QR code on your screen, if you've not already scanned, if you're not already following, please start following AI1K project on LinkedIn and create a LinkedIn ID. A LinkedIn ID is something like a Facebook or an Instagram ID, first and foremost. However, the focus of LinkedIn is professional networking. Professional networking. As friends, we are there with each other on, let's say, Insta or Facebook or Snapchat. But professionally, there's a whole world of people who are on LinkedIn. And remember, a well curated, a well made LinkedIn ID will help you to increase your professional self branding. There are various tips and tricks which are there, how you can fine tune or better your profile on LinkedIn, what kind of photograph you should be putting, and so on and so forth. For those of you who are already on LinkedIn, you can also visit all the people who are attached to AI1K project. There are certain interns who've already, there are certain students like you who are already interning with the AI1K project and have put that in their LinkedIn profile. According to us, if you are associating with the AI1K project or AI1K internship, it's pretty much mandatory for you to create for those who have not yet created your LinkedIn ID. As I also shared earlier, we are there on the WhatsApp channel. We are also there on LinkedIn. And although we have a handle on YouTube, we will shortly be getting very engaging. So there are 3 QR codes just now on your screen. And like you scanned the previous one on LinkedIn, you may one by one want to scan these and also start following. You may want to take a jot. We keep putting very valuable information on LinkedIn and Instagram as of now. The WhatsApp channel is basically for us to share announcements with you all regarding the project. It could be a success story from, let's say, an intern from Chennai. You may not have faced a similar success story, but you at least know that I can form such a success story moving forward. And imagine so many of y'all would be looking at each other's success stories and getting inspired. Point number one. There could also be challenges which some of y'all may share one to one with us on WhatsApp so that it can also help other people, other interns. All this information is going to be available on the WhatsApp channel. Now let's plunge into the entire project, the internship piece, and let's understand where we are and where we are going to move. So this particular screen which you are seeing has 9 blocks. The three blocks on the left, right from number one, registering on a Google form. You all have all done it. Online assessment. You all have already all attempted and cleared the assessment. Today we are sitting for the orientation. There are going to be certain subset steps after the orientation. However, on a macro level, you will have to identify the geography. So for example, there is a candidate called Naresh and he's from Mumbai. Now Mumbai has, and in Mumbai, let's say he's from Andheri. Now Naresh would then have to identify his geography of 5 to 10 kilometers around Andheri as a place, and this is applicable for all your cities, where he would be going and conducting his internship. And when we say conducting his internship, would typically mean where he'll go and meet companies. So once the geography, point number 4, has been identified, you map the companies which have their offices in that geography. Within those companies, who are the right people we got to meet? So if you look at serial number 7, you could meet the IT head or the IT manager. If it's a smaller company or a mid-sized company, you would meet the CTO, the chief technical officer, or you would meet the founder, or maybe the marketing head, because the marketing head of a company takes care of communication. And here our topic is the real impact of AI in communication amongst Indian businesses. Now, if you saw, I spoke about point number 4, 5, and 7. I missed out on 6 on purpose. Ideally speaking, in this remote internship, we would suggest you as interns to visit just two or three companies every day. Because trust me, in a 3-month long internship, you're visiting 2 to 3 companies, you have enough and more data set to create correct audience in block number 7 on your screen top right is going to be filled in an online digital form that we are going to be sharing with you. It's a very well articulated 35-40 question online digital form which you got to fill it up when you're meeting the right people. The form gets submitted in our central repository. You also get a copy of that on your email. And why would you get a copy of that on your email? Because let's say after 10 days, you have visited 20 to 30 companies. You should have all those details with you. So you will get a copy of all the details and this copy will come to your email. And I'm not saying you only need to go and visit IT companies. AI in communication is amongst almost all domains of companies. Moving forward, point number 9. If one is able to maintain the consistency of meeting 2 to 3 companies, you'll have 120 data sets because you would have met 120 people or 120 organizations and individuals in that company. Now, all this you're going to submit. Who would you submit it to and how would you submit it? One, you would submit it to the Ai1k team. So your submissions would happen on an email ID called info@ai1k.online. All these details will come to your email also, don't worry. Now, what would you submit? One, you would submit a gist or a brief of your internship project. We don't want a day-wise thing. Day-wise, you're filling in the online digital form. So your experience during the course of the project, when you're meeting organizations, you're also interacting with us and the AI1K team. You'll put a two-pager in terms of what did you learn? How was your experience? What are the new things that you learned? What were some of the challenges that you faced during the initial period of internship? How were those challenges mitigated? Either somebody within your college helped you out, or somebody from the AI1K team helped you out, or somebody in the family helped you out. So it becomes a dossier of your 2 months or 3 months of internship. Point number one. Point number two, you would make a structured PowerPoint presentation. Now, please understand, a structured PowerPoint presentation doesn't mean it has to be a snazzy document. What I'm sharing with you is simple text written in a structured fashion in this presentation over which we are having a discussion. There are no flying things coming on the screen, etc. We have not used much of color, etc. It's specific information which is comprehensible, जो आपको clearly समझ आएगी. So you make a PowerPoint presentation. That presentation, you share it with info@ai1k.online. And if you choose to, also share a copy with your training and placement cell. We as an organization will share it formally with them, but that is later on. So your submission would be 10-1, which is internship inference. 10-3 bases the data sets that you've collected in block number 9, a presentation. And trust me, once you start visiting companies, after 3 or 4 weeks, because you would have had quality conversations, you will start understanding कि इस कंपनी ने तो ये चीज लगाई है, बट इस कंपनी में ये चीज नहीं है, and the quality of your conversation will also help you understand some of the needs and gaps of these companies. आज शायद समझ नहीं आएगा, but let's say you attended the AI1K orientation. Now, if one of your friends in your building or one of your classmates in college who has missed out on the orientation session, if you are to give a download, if you have understood the core and the crux of today's orientation, you'll be able to share it with them, right? You'll be able to answer certain specific questions. लेकिन अगर ऐसा होगा तो क्या करना चाहिए? ये कर सकते हैं. और उन्होंने बोला है that they will also handhold us during the internship period. उनका व्हाट्सएप है, उनका लिंक्डइन है. अच्छा, उनका लिंक्डइन फॉलो करना शुरू कर दो, व्हाट्सएप चैनल ज्वाइन कर लो. So there are a lot of guidances that you start sharing because you have specifically attended something or consumed something well. And all this, you're going to submit it to us by March 2025. Now, we at AI1K project team will then go through all your data submitted. We will check for gaps, if any. We will check for data authentication. We will check your attendance, which is a must. I may not fill in any form from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but fill 10 forms, online digital forms on a Friday. That is not something we are expecting you to do. You have to do this consistently. Ideally, we are saying do it Monday to Friday. And the time you would require to spend on this particular internship while meeting companies is not more than 2.5 hours, maximum 3 hours. After that, you can do your other thing. One. Second, you could do more research because that will increase your learning and your understanding of the subject. Now, out of all the interns, the top 10 will be invited to Ahmedabad. Why Ahmedabad? Because SMS Cloud Hub has its India headquarters in Ahmedabad. We will be conducting a felicitation session for the top 10. And this felicitation session is going to be covered on digital media, on conventional media, and on LinkedIn. So it's going to be quite a proud moment. Apart from that, let's understand when things are put on digital media or things are put on LinkedIn, they are there to stay. So tomorrow, On your LinkedIn media, you could tag these posts, which helps you to build on your personal brand. When you are looking out for a full time employment opportunity, you can put relevant information in your resume or showcase your LinkedIn profile to people. So it beautifully helps you to upgrade your personal brand. And trust me, guys, this can only happen if you've done the previous steps properly. Because to reach the top 10 out of, let's say, 1024, you're the top 1%. I'm not saying the others didn't do their work, but when we talk about the top 1%, I'm sure they've put more efforts, smart work with time efficiency, and so on and so forth. And you remember the assessment that we spoke about earlier? The reason why y'all are here today is because y'all have shown high levels of competencies which are required for a remote internship. That is when your internship ends. Communication and time management are two of the top three. Anybody else wants to mention one soft skill or two soft skills? Yes, leadership is a super large umbrella, right? Leadership has got multiple soft skills or competencies within it. And we can have that session on another day. And y'all are giving me a lot of thoughts in terms of what are the various things we can do every alternate Saturday when we meet online during the AI1k internship. Now, to manage myself well, I need to have a high EQ. EQ. Q means quotient and E means emotional. So the top three skills which are required moving forward, one of them is EQ. This is an article that I read, which was on the Forbes website. The second one is networking. And the third one, of course, which all of you all actually mentioned, whoever participated, is communication. Second is networking. So imagine if I, as an AI1k intern, needs to meet 2 to 3 companies every day, I should be good in networking, right? I should be able to network with people. And when we say network with people, how do you network with people? Networking doesn't happen automatically. One of the strongest way is in terms of communicating. Communication, of course, is verbal, non-verbal. Somebody mentioned body language. Body language is non-verbal communication. हम बोल नहीं रहे हैं, but हमारे body say, the way we are standing, the way we smile, the way we look, the way we lean, whether we've got our hands in our pocket, whether we've got our hands folded in front of us, blah, blah, blah. There are so many things in body language. Trust me, the next half an hour would not be adequate for me to share details about it. But networking and therefore communication. And remember, my friends, communication is not what I say. Communication is not what we say. Communication is what the person on the other side understands. So coming back, the whole thing is covered on LinkedIn, the felicitation. It helps to enhance your personal brand. But the rest of the people who have participated in this AI1k internship, if any one of you needs a reference or a recommendation, basis how you have fared in your internship, professionals or the right people here at SMS Cloud Hub will do that. Let me tell you, since the time we have started the AI1k internship, a lot of y'all, a lot of AI aspirants like you, apart from following SMS Cloud Hub or AI1k, have also connected with me. I've not had any major traction. We are just connected on LinkedIn. So if you want any recommendation or reference, and of course, the internship completion certificate. See, a lot of you need that certificate to be submitted in your college or your university. So the internship completion certificate will be given to all of you all, subject to your meeting the basic criteria of attendance, the quality of data, the number of visits you all have made, and so on and so forth. So happy to share those internship completion certificates. So we are not here to stop things, but we are here to make sure that you all are able to earn your internship. One of the things you did was fill in the forms, submit your details, go through the assessment, so you've qualified. Now, let's go through the journey together. Moving forward, a typical leaderboard every 2 weeks will look like this. This leaderboard will, of course, be flashed on the Ai1k WhatsApp channel every 2 weeks. Now, imagine, would you not want your name here? Would you, your parents, your family members not feel nice about the fact that out of so many candidates across India, you are in the top 10? Now, there are various parameters of being in the top 10, and the final top 10 are going to be invited to Ahmedabad for the felicitation ceremony. So, this also tends to create a sense of competitiveness. All of us are competitive. We all want to do well. We all want to be, why not, in the top 10? Any thoughts here? Do you all agree to the fact that we want to do well and we want to be amongst the top 10 or top 20? And that's why leaderboards are important. And the AIR here is All India ranking. Because this is a nationwide internship, it's All India rank. Now, we spoke briefly about your role. Here, we've broken it down into numbers. If you're having 2 to 3 meetings per day, you're going to be having 10 to 15 per week. You'll have as many as 60 a month. In 3 months, if you're doing 60 a month, you'll have 180. But on the lower side, you'll have at least 120. So 120 to 180, 150 meetings you've had. Now, what do you need to do to get that? Like we shared briefly earlier, so you map your local area. You map the companies and the organizations which has a minimum headcount of 25. 25 से ज़्यादा लोग हैं. Make a list, make an Excel, write it in a notepad, whatever is comfortable for you. Some of the areas where you could get these details is, of course, online, on the internet. You can get it through references. You can also get it through trade websites. Some of you may be aware of it, some of you may not be. For example, IndiaMart is one of the trade websites. Yellow Pages is one of the trade websites. You may also have an IT park or an industrial unit around where you are studying or staying. So these are the places from where you can put an effort and get your point number 1 ready. Now, I have the territory outlined. I have the names of the companies. I have their websites. They are all above 25. Some could be 2,500, some could be 250, some could be 1,000, some could be 500. I have their websites. So from their website, I can also know who are the people who are working there. In case they don't have details about people working there, LinkedIn to hai hai, because LinkedIn pe 85-90% of the professionals are there. So you can check online on Google or you can go to LinkedIn. So now I have the name of the company, their website, the headcount detail. Wikipedia is another place where you get a lot of details about companies. You are looking at specifics. Yes, when you're looking at specifics, you also get information with respect to a lot of other factors. Which sector are they in? But a conglomerate is an organization which is into multiple sectors. So, for example, one of the large conglomerates in India could be the Aditya Birla Group, or Reliance Industries, or the Adani Group, or the Tata Group of companies, because they work as one particular large umbrella with the Mahindra Group. If I remember correctly, last time I checked, and I got this information from Wikipedia, Mahindra as a group, as a conglomerate, is into 125 things in the business world. Now imagine when you would go for such meetings, and let's say it's a large company. Your meeting, let's say Vodafone. Somewhere in the facilities, you go there, you have a meeting for 12 o'clock, you reach there at 11:45. Being punctual is always good. And the receptionist says, "Sir, please wait for some time." Yeah, ma'am, please wait for some time. You introduce yourself. I am, let's say, Sanya from so and so college, and I'm working as an intern. Trust me, people promote interns because ek din wo bhi intern the kahin pe. So you'll get all the help. Now, while you're waiting at the reception, maybe you're a little thirsty. You've not carried a bottle of water with you. So you walk up to the water dispenser, or you have bottles lying there. You pick up, you have your water, and like I came across that one wall at Mahindra headquarters in Worli in Mumbai, you come across something like this. Will that not be an eye opener for you? And then when you come back and do a Wikipedia, now you have, wow. So we started with conglomerate. So certain companies are conglomerates. If you're able to connect, you can possibly ask them, sir, you have 7 more companies. Can you share details of the person that I can go and meet? If they've had a good experience with you during that meeting, sure, आप फलाने से मिल लीजिए, or send me an email. Think about it. How new doors may open up, because हम तो काम बात कर रहे थे पॉइंट नंबर 1 में ऑनलाइन की, ट्रेड वेबसाइट्स की, आईटी पार्क्स एंड इंडस्ट्रियल. यहाँ पे रेफरेंस भी मैंने जब बताया था उस समय, आई वाज टॉकिंग अबाउट रेफरेंसेस इन योर ओन सोशल सर्कल. बट हियर यू मेट समबडी and you are requesting him or her to help you out, and believe me, 8 out of 10 people help you out without any personal malice or personal interest. And you all are smart people, you all will understand किससे मुझे मदद मांगनी है, किससे नहीं मांगनी है. And you've met them professionally, as in you've gone for a research internship to them. And of course, you got to, coming back to point number 3, once you've done your mapping, you'll have to call them and fix a meeting up. Don't be scared, don't be nervous. I'm sure none of you all will be scared, but don't be nervous. Whichever language you are comfortable in, English में हो तो ठीक है, हिंदी में लोग समझते हैं. Not all of us are great in English, not all of us are great in Hindi either. Today, just before lunch, one of my team members and me, we were talking to somebody in Maharashtra, and we were talking in English, Hindi and English together. And the lady on the other side said, Mala English Maiti Nai. She was in Maharashtra. She didn't understand English. So we said, Kab call kare? And she said, Mere senior ke saath aadhe ghante mein. So we were able to, from both the sides, communicate with each other to the other person's understanding. And we had a call after half an hour where the other gentleman was able to speak in English and Hindi. Incidentally, from our end, we didn't know Marathi. Interestingly, on the other side, that lady was not aware of much of English or Hindi. So when you have a quality communication, and remember, communication is one of the top 3 that we spoke about a little while back, we were able to communicate. So if you are able to have a good call, the person will be happy to help you. और आज सुबह फोन किया तो आज ही मीटिंग हो जाएगी, ऐसा भी नहीं है. Normally people will schedule the meeting with you. आप परसों मिलना, तरसों मिलना. And when you go for a meeting, we are going to provide you with a digital online research form, DORF. So you fill in the DORF, which means during the course of the conversation, you're asking them the questions, they're giving you the responses, you're writing it down. And what does this DORF all constitute of? The person you're meeting, the organization details, the technical infrastructure a little bit, and of course the AI readiness and the communication part of it. So very interesting information. We spoke about the online form. Each online form, when you're filling it, you got to make sure that you mention your 8-character unique code, because trust me, system mein, you're going to be identified with your 8-character unique code with that one email address. So make sure you write it properly. Otherwise, you may have met 3 companies, but if you've not mentioned the correct details, it may not come in your kitty. And if you don't mention the correct email ID, आपको वो mail वापस नहीं मिलेगा जो information का होगा, because वो mail से ही आएगा. So across the 3 sections, first section is of course your details, second section is certain details from that organization, उनका email ID, number, जो normally हम लेते हैं किसी से भी मिलते हैं, तो उनका website, वो कौन सी sector में है. You remember I spoke about conglomerate. तो conglomerate होगा तो भी आप telecom में किसी को मिलोगे या finance में किसी को मिलोगे, so that particular sector, वहाँ कितने लोग काम करते हैं. And when we say वहाँ, not that office, in that company. So Mahindra में से हमारे housing finance में there are 900 people working, but I would have gone to their office which had 150 people there. Across India, they have other people working in various other locations. We also need to get their social media handles. Just say sometime back we shared some of our social media handles with you. LinkedIn, Facebook, Insta. Believe me, all these companies have their social media handles. Take a jot. While you submit it in the form, great. But when you go back, visit them. It will give you a lot of insight. Some of you may already be following some of them. But now, it helps you to understand things better. To look at it as a professional. And it is a step-by-step happening. Of course, the last section has the tech infra, the digital marketing details, the AI tools and adoption, some budgets if they can share, some of the challenges with respect to product, people, process, etc. Believe me, this is a well-thought research internship. सीखने मिलेगा. And you're not paying anything for it. स्कूल में हम सीखने जाते थे, फीस भरते थे। कॉलेज में हम सीखने जाते थे या जाते हैं, फीस भरते हैं। कोई एक्स्ट्रा वोकेशनल ट्रेनिंग लेंगे, फीस भरेंगे। Here it is your understanding of the subject, your research work, a little bit of hard and smart work. Some tips and tricks. If you've got to invest 2.5, 3 hours per day, or let me say 2 to 3 hours per day, for maximizing data sets, as in maximizing our meetings, your ideal, now this is a suggestion, this is a guideline. When we meet, let's say 2 weeks into the internship, some of you may say, my best meetings or the best time for my meetings is Monday to Wednesday, 11 to 3. Fair enough. Different cities work differently. Different companies work differently. Today, we are all in the winter season in India. So some of the places, sunset happens early. Some of the places, sunrise happens late. And so on and so forth. But ideally speaking, thumb rule, Monday to Wednesday, 3 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Thursday, Friday, Saturday sometimes, mornings, 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Ideal calling schedule. Why am I going to call somebody? Is when I'm going to fix a meeting. Weekdays, Monday to Friday, 11 से 3:30. We need to avoid lunch hours. Lunch hours normally क्या होता है? 1:30, 1:30 to 2:30. That's the range. Avoid lunch hours. Because the person may attend your call, but he or she may not be able to give you a schedule because they're not on their computer or laptop. And your call pitch, जब हम बात कर रहे हैं, we possibly will have 30 seconds. Can we create an impact in those 30 seconds and get our meeting? And what is your call to action? What is your objective? Your objective is to seek a 25, 30-minute meeting for a survey, research, discussion. जो बोलना है. Use words which you are comfortable with. Moving forward, what should be an ideal call pitch or elevator pitch? Some of you may be aware of the term elevator pitch. You may write it down and want to do a search on Google and YouTube. बहुत सारे examples पड़े. यहाँ पे on your screen you are seeing a brief synopsis of Good day, Ms. Charu Gupta. Hi, my name is Naresh and I'm so glad to have connected with you today. I am from so-and-so college and a research intern with SMS Cloud Hub for Ai1k Nationwide Internship and would like 20-25 minutes of your time to get details on my research topic. Your call to action here is, may I, or I request you for a meeting tomorrow or day after. Yeah, put the date and time as per when you are available to get your valuable insights from you and your team to complete my research. That's it. हाँ, एड्रेस कंफर्म कर लेना. आपने वेबसाइट पे जाके एक एड्रेस देखा होगा. वो एड्रेस लेट्स से दिल्ली एनसीआर जैसी जगह में गुड़गांव का दिया हुआ है. बट आप जिनसे बात कर रहे हो मे बी वो दिल्ली ऑफिस से काम कर रही है या कर रहे हैं. सो get your confirmation so that you don't land up at the wrong office. I'm sure when you're going to meet somebody, you got to dress well. And dress well doesn't mean wear expensive clothes. Dress well means look presentable. So those of you who are boys here or men here, you need to wear a formal shirt with trousers or pants. Your belt should ideally be matching with your formal shoes. Avoid sneakers. Avoid running shoes. Avoid. हाँ, जूते दिखते नहीं हैं, टेबल के नीचे होते हैं जब आप मीटिंग कर रहे हो. But wear a pair of smart leather shoes, formal shoes. For ladies, Indian or Western formals, and make sure, because some of the ladies keep long hair, make sure it's tied properly. You may want to wear a jacket or a blazer. Tie is not mandatory. If you're comfortable wearing a tie, wear it. Make sure you smell good. Smell good doesn't mean Axe Effect का ad की तरह पूरा लगा लिया डियो. Smell good. If you don't have a body odor, जरूरी नहीं है कि आप perfume या डियो भी लगाओ. But make sure you smell good. Any of you, if you have visible tattoos, make sure you cover them. People judge. Here we are going for a focused meeting to do and get proper information about our Ai1k internship. So avoid visible tattoos. When I say avoid means cover them. Tattoo निकालना अगर करा लिया तो मत निकालो. ठीक है? Try and cover it up. Of course, make sure that you're wearing clean iron clothes. Crumpled clothes could be good for a evening wear. And make sure you're wearing a smile, because first impressions are always lasting. Now, these are some pictorial diagrams which we have shown you here. of what are the type of attire you can carry yourself in. On the right bottom of your screen, there are photos of 5 men. The 2 men in gray and red t-shirt, that is something that you should not be wearing. Please avoid. Many of you must be aware of this, but from a grooming perspective or an orientation session perspective, it is our duty at SMS Cloud Hub to make sure that we clearly tell you all during the course of the session. We are going to be together for 3 odd months. Every alternate Saturday, we're going to meet online for 75 to 90 minutes. We will, of course, be sharing the leaderboard. Some of you may have super success stories, the quality of the meeting, the number of meetings in that week. Success could be anything. So if you all want us to take your name and share the success story, we'll be happy to do that. If you want to do it in anonymity, we will do that. Some of the challenges that you're facing, we'll share it here. All this information, you can either share one-to-one with us on WhatsApp in a proper fashion or send us an email. Now, somebody may have faced a challenge in Amritsar, which somebody in Kalyan may have not faced it. But if he or she is aware of it, in case the Kalyan gentleman, Sridhar, for example, faces it, he is prepared for it. So we are doing peer learning. Point D, we will also invite industry leaders to come and spend time with you all online. So you learn about AI. You learn about various aspects which will help you to not only do well in your internship, but also move ahead as professionals. So these are some of the virtual interventions about which we mentioned. Of course, moving forward, we will come out with more. Now, typically in a 3-month internship, if we are doing one every alternate week, we'll meet at least 6 times. Some of the challenges which we thought we should share with you right away so that it doesn't come as a shock, or you may not have thought about it, is how do I identify companies, their size, their sector, etc. So if you remember the previous slides, we have covered it there. How do I schedule meeting? We spoke about elevator pitch. We spoke about Ai1k research internship. You clearly know what the subject is. What should ideally be the duration of a meeting? We checked internally, we took a feedback, anywhere between 15 to 30 minutes. Sometimes meetings can go for a little long because you have actually connected with the person on the other side. So you may have a leeway to check for more details. Let's say you're having a meeting on the 17th day of your internship. Obviously, you've learned in the 16 days something. So don't you think the way you would ask the questions, even though they are listed there, is going to be more conversational than, sir, what is your total headcount? Sir, does everybody in your organization use email IDs? Blah, blah, blah. Question भी जब हम पूछते हैं, तो there is an art of storytelling. For example, if you're meeting somebody in Reliance, insurance, Reliance is also into insurance. That is part of the Reliance ADAG group. ADAG. Some of you may know it. Otherwise, Anil Dhirubhai Ambani Group. So Reliance is 2 parts. Reliance Industries is that of Mr. Mukesh Ambani. Reliance Insurance is the ADAG group. They are also called Reliance. So you need to ask the right questions to not assume. Of course, you'll have enough and more signage and details available on the website. So if you study a website, you don't need to deep dive. But if you study it for as much as the information that you require, and I'm sure most of you also use services of ChatGPT. ChatGPT is also a great tool. Don't be a slave to ChatGPT. ChatGPT can help you and give you a framework of information, but you got to absorb and understand and own the information. You may also face some challenges initially in terms of meetings. In one of the orientation session, somebody asked, can we conduct the meeting in pairs? 2 of us go together. Yes, you can do that. But only one of you can mention that company, because when we get the information on the central repository, it would be 2 people having the same information. So make sure that you are able to balance your visits well with the time available to you. And yes, peer learning or buddy meetings is not incorrect, but do it initially. Later on, if you're still going together, and if it's a building, somebody does the 2nd floor meeting, somebody else does the 7th floor meeting. You can also do that. If you can quickly check and tell me in the chat window how many words are mentioned here on your screen. So, yes, Mohit, you probably need to count it again. Maybe you missed one of the words which was which is mentioned in a light colored font. There are 17. Now, probing skills, grooming, self management, entrepreneurial bent, comprehension, resilience, leadership, time management, articulation, a crisper articulation, networking. These are some of the skills, soft skills, on which you were assessed in your assessment. And you all did fairly well. There is, of course, room for improvement. The point is, if you have put so much of an effort till now, one. Second, qualified, now maximize your efforts to earn the knowledge and learn here. Some of you may be lucky to be in the top 10, but others also did well because they learned during their journey. Let's understand, you meet 120 companies. Let's say you've actually created an impact on some of the people that you met in those companies. They know you are interns. They have their name. Some of them may ask you for your email address. They may connect back with you and say, or somebody from their organization will connect back with you and say, please share your resume. They may offer you a job. While some of you may be looking for jobs, I have crisper communication, I have an entrepreneurial bent. So that also remember one thing, when you go for meetings, do not shy away from asking the person on the other side their visiting card. People call it visiting card, people call it business card. Naam alag alag hai, it means the same thing. Imagine at the end of 3 months, you have 120 visiting cards. You met these people actually. They may ask you for your visiting cards. You don't have it. Carry your college ID card with pride. You're from a great college and you are doing a great internship on a subject which is as new as AI. So thank you very much for everybody for your time. I'm Naresh here, and with the complete team at AI1k Project, would like to thank you all for your time today and the patience.